Evening, everyone. How are we? Welcome. How are we? Happy Friday. Happy Friday, one and all. We've had a good week. Apologies for not being around. It's been quite busy at work. I've had to deliver a brand new course, and I am the first person who's done it. So I was doing the pilot. That's what she said. And yeah, so it's been a bit full on. And then podcasting last night. Patreon episode took an hour and a half to record. The main episode isn't even an hour and a half. But Patreon was. Patreon involved questions. Would you recognise Ryan Babel in the street? Who's been in more episodes of Z Cars, James Milner or Gareth Barry? Recasting Superman. And then trying to pick international football teams based on people who aren't footballers and just making the best national team you could possibly come up with. So that was last night. Tonight is FM, apparently. We'll see how far we get with that. I mean, let's be honest. Is this gonna be like a straight down the line, let's just do Football Manager and not get derailed? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. In fact, not even do I doubt it. I hope not. Let's jump in, shall we? Hi. Hello. Welcome, one and all. Welcome to Alice from the WFM show. How are we? Ank is in as well. My word. We're getting them all in tonight, aren't we? All of them. Llama's here. Ank's here. Alice is here. Tim's in. Benny's in. Rougeau's here. Ian's in. Soccer with Brian's here. Ryan's in. Loads of people chilling out in the background. Pacey's here. Oxlow's here. It's a pleasure to have you all in. Welcome. One and all. Hope you've had a wonderful week. Let's find out what you've been up to as we try and work out what on earth's going on here, because I can't remember. Saturday was the last time we played this game. No idea where we are. No idea what's happened. No idea what the hell's gone on here. That's like, is that everybody taking a penalty in the city? Possibly. That seems to be a lot, to be honest. That's quite a lot. We're doing the National League Cup, I think. Or we've just done it. One of the two. No idea. We're in there. If you're intending to deviate from FM, you'll be most likely to be locked in if you've ever been. This is the most locked in we'll ever. We're playing at Everton under 21s. There we go. We are playing in the National League Cup, the cup that I didn't even know it existed until I played this season. Because, why would I need to know these sorts of things? Even Christopher, how are we, sir? Welcome in. Dan's in as well. If you're intending to deviate from FM, Dan says you'll be locked in for for about 5 minutes, to be honest. That'll be about it. If you're here for Football Manager, then, I mean, look, you know what? Honestly, you just keep walking. Keep walking, like, I don't really know how much Football Manager we're going to talk. I'd imagine 3% at best, isn't it? Llama's in saying, I have full faith in you not to get distracted from FM tonight, TJ. There's no way I could ask you for your favourite Dennis Waterman show and you even give it a second thought. Do you know what? You're right. There is no way at all. No way at all am I currently Googling Dennis Waterman. It's got to be Sweeney or Minder, and Sweeney's the obvious answer, isn't it? Sweeney's the obvious one, but in Minder, right? Here's the thing, right? In Minder, I reckon he's a bit of a the guy who's the main guy. That's not Waterman, is it? Is that Waterman, the main guy? That's Arthur Daly, isn't it? Is that? It is not. Is Terry McCain? I don't know. Who was on the waterfront? For some reason, I feel like on the waterfront could be it. In TJ we trust. Really, really, Alice. What about on the up with Mrs. Wembley from the Carry-Ons? I mean, that. Do you know what? That sounds like a euphemism for like a 1980s naughty film, doesn't it? What about a bit on the up with Mrs. Wembley from the Carry-Ons? Yeah, I don't know. And did I watch On the Up? Let me have a quick little nosy here. I mean, do you know what? I recognise it. Plus, also as well, it's got Sam Kelly in. That's the thing, isn't it? So having Sam Kelly, and is it Joan Sims? That's star power right there. Yeah, that is star power. To have those two in, the fact that Dennis Waterman hasn't crossed the pond is the reason that why Ank is crossing the pond. I think this is probably we're getting the answers right now. You're right. This is exactly the reason that Ank's coming over, because they haven't experienced Dennis Waterman. Genuine advice needed. I'm starving. Up for almost anything. Prepared to order anything. All suggestions welcome. See now this is where we come into our own, isn't it? Right. What could Tim order for his tea? Literally. How long has this been going on now? 3 minutes max. And we're already going, oh, Football Manager. Tim's hungry. What should we have? Chinese. Ian, I'm not convinced by Chinese food, right? And the reason I'm not convinced by Chinese food is because the starters are always better than the mains. I had a conversation with a friend of ours last week. I think I spoke about this last week. They were desperate for us to go to their new Chinese restaurant and get theirs from a takeaway from there. It has to be a restaurant because it's like, it's got 70 quid. But I'm not that bothered about Chinese main courses. I think Thai's better. I think Vietnamese is better. You know, order a kebab, says Crazy Brit. That's not a bad shout. Greek's a good shout, Ryan. Yeah. Take out sushi. I mean, it's not non-league football. Well, it is technically non-league football, isn't it? So you could do. Ethiopian food. Now, I'm sure that Chris is expecting me to rag on that, but there is an Ethiopian restaurant in I'm sure there's one in York. I think. I'm sure there is. There's a Gurkha restaurant, which is quite nice. You know, because I'm all about the Nepalese cuisine. Ethiopian food is god tier. It's meant to be like top draw, isn't it? And I'm not going to say what you all expect me to say, right? I'm going to keep myself well behaved at least until 10 o'clock. Mention at 10 o'clock and go, come on, TJ, tell me what you really think of Ethiopian food. And I'll be like, I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah. How about good old fish and chips? Stop lying. Honestly, I'm fighting the urge, Dan, to mention what I want to mention. Now, fish and chips, as we all know, fish and chips comes with a battered sausage. It's got to be an additional. Ethiopian food is quite easy to make at home, other than inertia, which I don't know where I'd start. I've never attempted to make Ethiopian food, I must admit. Getting a spam fritter. Injera. I said inertia, didn't I? I can't read. Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to have a bit of Ethiopian food with a tiny bit of inertia on the side. Have you got a bit of erasure on the side of your plate? I have, yeah. I've got Andy Bell singing some beautiful songs at me. It's wonderful. Call Sims with a goal. We're ordering Ethiopian food as TJ never gave me an answer. I was fielding suggestions for you, Tim. But you know what? I hope that where you live, I mean, you're down south, innit? So you might get Ethiopian food. Like if you're in, you know, I don't know, Blythe, for example, you're not getting Ethiopian food. Don't bring erasure in this, TJ. Give a little respect to Ethiopian food. This is the thing, Llama. My brain wasn't working quick enough to get an Erasure song reference going on at that point. I was like, I need one. And I was stumbling and I was buying time. And I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got there. And I'd rather you get the credit for the joke than me. So perfect. Well played. Thank you. That's why you're here, you see. Keeping me in check. Right, what are we getting from the Ethiopian takeaway then, everyone? All right. Obviously, we're getting injury bread. We have a lovely Ethiopian restaurant in my college town of Tennessee. Give the good people of Blythe some credit. I mean, Ank, just to warn you, when you come over to the UK, right, we'll take you to Blythe and you can decide whether or not my not slagging off, but my comments about the lack of Ethiopian food in Blythe are justified. You're cold all the goddamn time. You'll be cold up in Blythe, don't worry. Yeah. When you've been here a week. Hang on, what? Whoa. What week are we on now? You're already here. That probably explains why you're asking about... I thought you were asking about PC parts, like, because this week is next week. Welcome, Hank. And listen, right? You're down south. That's where the good weather is. Don't go saying it's cold. If you're cold down there, then oh my word, just you wait till you get to the north. Like, yeah, we do cold. Not like Canada cold, but like, you know, it hailed on me at the beach earlier this week. Yeah, we do that. Yeah, I mean it is nearly summer, so that's why. Wiki Bicker, welcome in. I appreciate the follow there. Llama, welcome. Let me apologize in advance for everything. Yeah. I mean, it's like out of the frying pan into the fire, right? So it's just the same problems, but on a smaller scale. I think. I don't think the north gets any colder than where I live in the States. The difference seems to be that all y'all's houses are so freezing and it's chronically damp. The damp is a thing. We have a damp cold around here, not like Scandinavia that has dry cold, or Buffalo. You know, a very damp climate. We do got a lot of moisture in the air. It's that sea fret in it. I think it's an island problem. Do you know what I mean? Like not like blaming the Irish, obviously, but blaming the fact that we live on an island. Come to concert, we'll show you cold. Oh God, Ryan, you don't bring anybody to concert. Have I? I must have told you the story of when we did gigs in concert. I must have done that. I've decided where, but can you pick a number between 1 and 9? Yes, we can. 3. 3, Tim. Concert is worse than Blythe, Hank, because concert is the sort of people who live in Blythe, but up a height. Okay, so there's like the air's thinner in concert. So all the people that would be roaming around in bins in Blythe go up a bit of a hill and live in concert, and they're we keep them away from civilization. We move them up a bit. right? Skippy says visiting Norway for a few days can confirm it's very wet and cold all the time. Norway's lovely. Norway's a nice dry cold. I like Norway. It's good. Scando is fine by us. There's no buffalo in Scandinavia. Not for that price, there isn't. Yeah, no. So concert, right? So we did this gig in concert, which is like, as I say, it's not just backward. It's like properly backward, right? And we went to set up the show. We had the meeting with the guy who ran the venue. And this is how, when the conversation starts with, right, gonna level with you, Tony. You can say whatever you want round here. You know, honestly, do your darkest material. If it's racist, that's fine. And I'm like, oh, do you know what? Like, it's not. Like, it's not fine. It's not. We didn't. We did. I must just say, we didn't. Right? Okay, we didn't. We did do a show where we had the guy, and again, this is very, very, very British tale at this point, right? So there was a comic called The Viz that came out in like the 90s and stuff, and it was like sort of toilet humor Viz, right? And the guy who wrote it, one of the guys who wrote it, a guy called Chris Donald, and his brother Simon Donald. So Simon is a friend of ours. He's a comic, and he does loads of character comedy, right? So basically, it's him dressing up in different sort of outfits, being different people on stage, and what he does is he does two different people during the show. So we put him on at one part of the show as one character, put him on the part of the show as another character, and this is the level of intellect in the audience, right? The second time he'd gone on stage, I heard someone go, he looks like the fella from before, but with a different hat on. So, yeah, that's what, yeah, he looks like the fella from before. They hadn't worked it out. Just like, wow, this is where we're at. It was great. It was great. We had one of my friends went, I'm a comedian, right? So some bloke shouted out from the back, well, change colour then. Thought that he'd said he was a chameleon. A weird show. A weird show. Kevin, my first time in for a while, TJ. Are you still 12th, albeit at the higher division? Let's be honest, Kevin. Yeah, yeah, genuinely. We genuinely are. Also as well, right? And this is you're all nice people, right? Right. So Gary Delaney, one of the best one-liner comics in the country. Okay, everywhere every time we've got a gig, we book him because he just slays. Okay, incredible. He's got a joke, right? He goes, at my last gig, I did a joke about Madeleine McCann and everyone booed. Turns out she's not as popular as she used to be, right? That's the joke. Nice joke. I like it. Really tightly packed. Good structure. Okay? He did that joke. And there were people in the audience that stopped him and went, what was the joke? And he was like, no. That is the joke. The joke is that, you know, by mentioning her, people booed. She's clearly not. And then they go, yeah, no, but like, what was the joke though? Like, so, just so like, why did people boo? What was the joke that you told that people didn't like? And honestly, they couldn't get it. They couldn't get it. We ran 3 shows there. It's amazing what gigs you'll do for money in it. Yeah, sounds like quite a lot worse when you have to explain it. Honestly, it's when you're there, that's when it's like it's tough. It's tough, and like I'm having to do this with a straight face as well. I'm like they don't know what's going on, do they? Like, okay, all right, that's fine. So yeah, comedy's one of the best jobs in the world. Sounds like working in King's Lynn. I mean, you know my views about King's Lynn, Ruscio. Speaking of which, the FM Show live tour is being booked as we speak, coming to concert and King's Lynn. God, could you imagine? Could you imagine? I have now got some interest though in venues, so I have some contacts. Sell out Jenner Park. Oh, we could do that. We could. I think that's the one where the WFM show have to be there. I mean, to be fair, well, again, we'll run it past them. You know, if they want to come to all shows, they're more than welcome. The Jenner Park pilgrimage is certainly happening. 100%, Ank. 100%. Or don't call it a sibling podcast. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Have I ever done any posh towns? Yeah, they don't like me. They don't like me. So yeah, just so that the WFM show know, by the way, I referred to the podcast as our sibling podcast on our show this week. And Sai had said sister, and I was like, sibling? And one of our viewers has taken a massive exception to the fact that I refer to you as our sibling podcast. So I just thought, why? Of all the things you can complain about on our show, and do you know what? There's a lot of things to complain about. Do you know what? That's exactly the comment I made. I was like, but I'm not going to gender the podcast, because the hosts, there is female and non-binary members of the podcast, so it's not a gendered podcast. So yeah, they didn't understand. I was like, do you know what? I'm fighting the good fight, right? And I was like, you can't take exception as to what I and we call our partner podcast. So we decided what we did. Yeah. Did I smooth that viewer over with some racist jokes? I did, actually, yeah. Did. Utter woke nonsense. In it. Yeah. So, yeah. Just one of those again. You know, when you're sitting thinking, I shouldn't be replying to this. Like, I'm a 46-year-old man, but I'm like, I also do need to reply to this, because if we let it go once, that's the problem, innit? Why aren't you talking ever? That was the same person that complained that it took 25 minutes for us to talk about Football Manager. And do you know what? They've listened to the podcast before. So it's not like it should have come as a surprise to them. Come on. Oh. No, actually, I'm a very frequent listener, weirdly. On that topic, it was a good episode. Thank you, Alice. Thank you. Very, very kind. Very kind. And do you know what? Awesome to see the team working together. Seeing Sai Maggio on the WFM show as well, with an absolute fire thumbnail, by the way. So do make sure you go and check out the WFM. I put the link in earlier, but pop it up in there again. Make sure you all follow the WFM show. You wish utter woke nonsense would result in victories. Yeah, we'd all like that, really. Frequent listener, constant mourner. Yeah, that is it, really. Like Ank and Katie size the talent. Oh no. Oh dear. Where are we dropping down to now? 14th. We can't be having that. Where Scunthorpe at top. Right, that's not too bad then. I mean, Hendor's having a shocker, isn't he? You're like me. You're like me, Alice. You know that you have to take a bit of a hit, right? Now you're the host. Everyone's you play the game for everyone else. Like you just tee it all up for them. Um, our our recording last night, as I mentioned on the intro, is it's another interesting one. we did our reaction to the World Cup news. Oh, Hjelder's giving it away. Sims, thoughts on Domino's? My thought on Domino's, Tim, right, is if you're getting any pizza, go into the customization, remove the vegetables, and add extra meat. So that's my thoughts. I think slightly better than Pizza Hut, but quite expensive though. Not as good as Papa John's. Papa John's is an all-righter, isn't it? Good trophy. Does Papa John's exist here? It does. It does, Hank. But I must admit, it's not hugely popular. Oh yeah, sorry, no, Russio's answered it better. Yeah, it's not very good. Let's bring Belston off actually and try and get another striker. Let's see if we can go 4-4-2 now. See if we can get another goal. Can we at least try? Yeah, if you get the vouchers, then it's decent. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's like too expensive. Oh, God's sake. What's this about MK Dons? What have we got going on about MK Dons here? MK Dons not being an allegation. What's going on? What have I missed, Hank? Tim wants a proper answer for. I've said Domino's is fine. It's all right. I'd say the only thing I think about a Domino's is you get dusty fingers, which is not a euphemism, by the way, right? Dusty fingers as opposed to greasy fingers with a Pizza Hut. Slice of pizza in the stands. Oh my word. No. Oh, Hank, now you're over here. You got to get Bovril when you go to the football. What would dusty fingers be a euphemism for? I don't know, but for some reason I made it sound like it would be. And it doesn't sound pleasant. No, hey, Alice, come on. Hank would love hot beefy drink to enjoy during the football. It would warm them up. I don't think pure beef drink is vegetarian. I mean, I'm not entirely sure there's a lot of beef in it. So maybe, I don't know. Problem with Domino's, says Kev, is that when one branch closes down, more follow. That's a good joke. That is a good joke, actually, isn't it? Yeah. That is a good joke. Well done, Kevin. I like that. If that's someone else's joke, fair. Well done. Good, like, one to put in. If you've done that joke, then you need praise. So even after defeat, we stay 12th. Excellent. It's like prawn cocktail crisps. They've never been near a prawn. It's paprika. Yeah. There's a lot of food that's never been anywhere near the food that it's meant to be near. Like, Right, 6 defeats in 14. That is my own work. Kevin, you deserve a round of applause. That is a wonderful joke. You should be proud. Please make sure you tell that at every available opportunity to anybody that will listen, and even those that won't. It's a good joke. Pizza's out for delivery. Excellent. What did you order, Tim? What was your pizza of choice? Right. See, I don't think that Jones doing that is the thing. Meaty one. The meaty one. Nice. Nice. That's a good one, that. You feel betrayed that this isn't an Ethiopian. No, he bought the Ethiopian pizza. It was the meaty Ethiopian. So I'm just thinking, what have we missed tonight? Shane. Right, Shane Turner. We like that. But I don't think we've got no money left, have we? I don't think we have. Jumping reach of 9 for a defender. Oh, that's right. Oh, nah, I remember now. Yeah. We had our wage budget reduced. Yeah. Yeah, we had our wage budget reduced, so we can't actually buy any more players. We are going to have to sell players that we've got in the squad, or try and loan players in. Starting to think that financially we might be a little bit. It's not great, is it? That's going down. Increased wage budgets are for winners only, TJ. I mean, that is fair, Alice. But look, we're now way over. And we weren't. Time for a cup run? Maybe. Or a new job. No, cup run. That's the one we want, isn't it? This is life in the National League, right? Do you know? We weren't. We certainly weren't ready for that kind of pressure. Are we even still in the cup? That would be the question. Randy Knight. Randy. No, nothing. 12th is winning. Do you know what? In a sense, I would agree with you, Dan. Yeah. In a sense, it's winning because we're only expected to be 17th. Yeah. So actually, we're doing much better than we thought. Yeah. How's the budget ranked to the rest of the league? Good question. How do you find that? So we go to league, yeah, and then stats, teams. I think what's going to happen is we're going to be like one of the top spenders, aren't we? Of course. Where else would we be? But 12th? Of course, we're 12th. Honestly. I just think we are literally, it's hard coded now at this point. maybe, like, should we now start to consider retiring the number 12 in game so that no player can ever get the golden number? Of course, we could write it. This is exactly how we'd write it, isn't it? TJ12 needs to be on any merch, by the way. Right. I'm on it. I'm on it, Tim. Out of respect for Darlington's contribution to the number. Yeah. Be the 12th man. The 12th man? Oh, yeah. Yeah, obviously the 12th man. 12th person. Evening, musician. How are we, pal? Nice to see you. Hope you're good. How goes the stream? I mean, to be honest, you could miss many, many streams and nobody would really know. TJ's next code is TJ12. Yeah. Do you know what? Like, whenever I get like my own like customized football boots, it's no DB7 or it's like R9 TJ12. Use the code TJ12 for 12% off. I have to negotiate extra discount with like any suppliers at all. Look, it's kind of our thing. We need an extra 2%, right? Or the deal's off. Start at 12, still 12. Pretty much, innit? That was a dreadful. What would a TJ12 fragrance be like? Oh, I think it would smell of disappointment, I think. Probably smell of chips. In the charity game, would you take number 12? I think I'd be given number 12 now. I was number 17, I think, in the last match. I wouldn't be given penalties, that's for certain. TJ discount 0.12%. Disappointment and hooch. Yeah, that's what it smelled like. Which, to be fair, those 2 cents are not exclusive. Have you seen the new football Lego sets of the players' shirt numbers? We should make a TJ12 one. I haven't, Alice. Do I need to see this? Behind on the pod, am I right saying there was a promotion? There was a promotion. There was. Like 2 years ago now? In game. So yeah, this is our second season of the National League now. The promotion was brilliant. So good. By so good, I mean unexpected. Pizza's 9 minutes away. This is like chocolate wrapper gate all over again, isn't it? Promotion, just a promotion. Cost us 10 seasons more for another promotion. Oh, look, we're not rushing anything here, Hank. We're getting our money's worth, right? We're making sure that we're ready to get promoted. Because there's nothing worse than getting promoted and not being ready. Yeah? They're cool. I wish there were some players for the women's game. I'll have to have a little nosy at that then, see if there's a thing, because I've not seen it. Is Terry Mitchell still on your staff? Took a quality picture of him and Darlow manager when I was there. The perfect big man, small man combo. I mean, if he's in the backroom staff, then I don't know if he's going to be any good as the big man, little man. But yeah, I'll have a look. I don't think so. We weren't ready for the National League. Finished 6th, didn't we? We did actually, yeah. That's a good point. Let's have a nosy on this. Oh, okay. Now we're talking. I got you. Okay, so basically what we need is we need a TJ12 of this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm right with that. Let's get ourselves one of those. Oh, there you go, like a little TJ12 with a Darlow jersey. Right. Let's try and work out. Although it did also say retiring soon, so that I don't know if the set's on me. Oh no, why has he just let that bounce? That felt very much like that was about to fly in. Let's move up a bit. Sims off, I think, for Tilsley. Coulson off for Ballard. What's the appropriate attire to meet the delivery driver at the door? From what I've seen on the internet, very little. Maybe wear a silk bathrobe and a cigar. Batman costume. Dress up as a burglar. That'd confuse them. Top hat and tails, maybe. Tilsley, super sub. So there's Ballard Matthews. He's come on as a sub. Lays the ball back. Ablett, he's come on as a sub earlier on in the match. Driven it in. Tills you with a header. There we go. Is that going to be enough to win us the match? Let's see what we've got. So that is a big man and a little man. That is a big and little man. They're not mucking about, are they? That is like literally, George, appreciate the 18 months, my friend. I've seen tag teams in the WWE look less convincing than that. He's small. This one's far away. Yeah, that's pretty. Like that's Steve Watson as well. Like Steve Watson's not massive, but is it Test and Albert? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Braun Strowman and Nicholas. Terry was so small, didn't even seem real how small he was in person. No, it seems very much like that if you were to make a wish around him, then you would get 3 more wishes. Does he live? It says 5 minutes for the pizza, still not anywhere late. Tim, this is we're getting tense now, mate. This is a big 5 minutes, right? A big personality. He's compensating, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Overcompensating. Excuse me. Since it's 10 now, what do you think of Ethiopian food? Right, I'm surprised that they've got as good cuisine as you'd expect. Because back in the day, right, we didn't hear anything about how good their food was. There was a lot of talk about how they didn't really have much food. So I'm really, really, really impressed that what they've done is they've developed a really, really good food scene. Because, you know, presumably now it's full of like food trucks and like they must have a Master Chef episode going on there, like a series like Master Chef Ethiopia must be a thing there now. You know, it's just nice. It's just nice that they're now represented. Because again, I'm just thinking it's one of those, isn't it? You know, it's nice. Maybe they didn't have the infrastructure in the first place. Maybe they had the chefs, but they just didn't have the sort of the way. Yeah, was, you know, what's their version of Marco Pierre White? An Ethiopian Greg Wallace. There you go. I mean, well, I couldn't agree more. Exactly, Sander. See. And the only reason I left it so late is because some people would be like, oh, for God's sake, here we go. And they'd try and say it was a bad thing. And I'm like, no, it's not a bad thing. If anything, I'm praising them. Yeah. Yeah, Rougeau's the mod because he's got common sense. That's why. 3 minutes. Pizza's on its way, folks. Pizza's here. Sorry, I went old Jersey Shore there. Which, do you know what? I would like to see that back again. And I know they're not going to bring it back up, but they might too. It was a guilty pleasure of mine for a little bit. Jersey Shore. You wouldn't expect it to be the sort of thing I'd watch. But me and Mrs. J, we did enjoy a lot of that. Also should mention as well, by the way, that I've got a tweet from Soccer with Brian, who was in the stream. I'm not sure if they're still about or not. But it looks like Alfreton Town have been put up for sale, and and Brian's went, I have an idea, and he's tagged like loads of us in going, let's buy a football club. I mean, that, I don't need that as an idea, do I? Like, I've got enough on my plate right now. That Peterborough lad, welcome in, pal. Appreciate the follow there. Very kind. Not a fan of the Geordie Show. Do you know what? Again, a guilty pleasure. A guilty pleasure. He did like Love Is Blind, so not much shocks me. I mean, do you know what? It's Jersey Shore for me. The idea that the cabs are here. T-shirt time. I was a big fan of T-shirt time. Gym Tan Laundry. Evening and do it, TJ. Buy it. Become part of the problem. Destroy it from within. That's what she said. I mean, we'd have to try and raise some cash for that, wouldn't we? To get a football club on the go. I'm guessing that's not about like 50 quid. We should remind TJ of the previous birthday stream where he agreed to set up a football club. Well, now there's already one there, so maybe we've already got it. Also, as well, I played the long game because I now have to have my management licenses. So I've now started my coaching badges. So how's it going? It's all right. I've got my DBS has got to come through. But I was in the dugouts for the friendly, which is good. There's a tournament on Sunday. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to be in the dugouts on Sunday. I feel very much like Will still at this point. But yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. The kids seem to like me. The other manager likes me. And I don't think I've offended anybody yet. So, I mean, I'm trying, obviously, but at the minute, nothing. He's up the road. Yeah, we should have realised as well. We've been doing this old twitching 5 years now. 5 years. Does it feel like 5 years? For you lot, probably. Actually, for you lot, yeah, TJ, it definitely feels like 5 years we've been doing this now. Mr. J, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Feels like 7. Feels like 10. Feels like 12. The 12s. Yeah. It has been a while, hasn't it? How many promotions on? 10 years? Just the one, Romero. Just the one. But it was a good one. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. We were all there for it. It was class. How do I resub? I don't know. Press the button. Is there not, like, I can't get on the web page? I don't know. I don't know, Mrs. J. Like, Romero on the follow. Appreciate that, my friend. Is there not, like, I mean, if you can't get on the web page you used to use, is there not, like, a button on the thing where you press? I don't know. It should be on the browser. There you go. Unsub and then sub again. That's it. Yeah. How do I unsub? Not. Yeah. Obviously, wasn't asking you. Fair enough. was looking for advice from a more competent chat. Well, yeah, there is that, isn't it? I know where I am. Kevin says, my pizza delivery driver used to work for Yodel, so generally it just gets lobbed at the front door over the hedge. Yeah. Streamer got shut down. Ain't that the truth? Yeah. Shots fired. There's St. Bernard. Get the cross in. Billington. Oh, what a hit that was. You've got Wrexham promoted to the Premier League. Well played. Well played. Airborne. Do competent people watch TJ? I mean, I'll answer that yourselves, Oxlow. I wouldn't like to be the one who holds the mirror up, but I would be surprised if there was... I would be surprised. Answers on a postcard. If you can find a postcard. You know. Address this to 12 TJ Street. 12th position. No Promotion Avenue. Narrative Lane. Watching TJ stream is like watching a nature program. Shh, don't get too close. This animal is almost extinct. Mrs. J resubbing 47 months. Look at that. She found the button. That's what she said. Welcome in. Welcome in, Mrs. J. The animal has found himself in an unwanted land and can't find a way to escape. Yeah. See here as the animal attempts to impress the rest of the pack with conversation about Denise Van Houten. Not knowing any better, the streamer continues to have a conversation, blissfully unaware that some of the pack are leaving, never to return. Mrs. J is the hero that we need right now, right? Here's the question, right? And we had this on Patreon last night, and I talked about it at the intro, is that so we started talking about the program that Jamie O'Hara's on Netflix, where he tries to go and trick women, find love, and convince people that, you know, he's an international football superstar. And Ryan Babel's on this show, right? And it is, Mrs. J's right, it's class, right? And Cy and Matt were unconvinced they would recognize Ryan Babel in the street. And I was like, okay. He's not the most recognizable footballer, but he's certainly not the most unrecognizable footballer. And then it got me thinking, who would I not recognize? And I saw someone had posted on Twitter that they had Nordi Mukiele in their cafe. And I was like, he plays for Sunderland, and I don't think I would recognise Nordi Mukiele. So I was starting to go through, we're now starting to go through a list of footballers. Who would you have no clue? Like, what level would it have to be for you to go like, I reckon I know that person? Like, I'd recognise Granit Xhaka, obviously. I'd recognise Luke O'Nien because he'd have made a mistake somewhere. I also had a really, really good line. If anyone is considering signing up to Patreon, by the way, here's one of the jokes I've got in it. We were trying to talk about Virgil van Dijk in Morrison's. So, like, could you get past Virgil van Dijk at the fish counter in Morrison's? And I said, you wouldn't be able to get past Virgil van Dijk in the fish counter at Morrison's because he'd just keep backing off and wouldn't let you actually try and get past him. So it's a very good. You can have that one if you want. You reckon you'd recognise one of those random Huddersfield players from their Premier League years? Absolutely not. Like, I'm talking about players who are in the Premier League now who I wouldn't recognise. You wouldn't recognise Niall Quinn if he tested you on the nose. I'd be really embarrassed if I didn't recognise Niall Quinn. This is why NBA players are easy to recognise in public because they're all massive. Well, yeah, there is that. But also, Ank, is that just an assumption that, well, look, you're dead tall, you must play in the NBA? And even then, I'd have to be like, you're an NBA, aren't you? Yeah. And I wouldn't know which NBA player they were. Could you explain the Van Dijk joke? Didn't get the punchline. So the punchline was that the stat is that no one gets past Virgil van Dijk and he's never been dribbled past. And it's only because what he does is he keeps backing off rather than actually trying to make a tackle. Well, that was a joke. Okay, well, there you go. Well, I've also explained it as well for those people on the stream who are from concert. Why am I losing 2-0? You'd recognise Luke O'Neill because he would have hacked you down in the street. Yeah. Oh, he's just a happy little puppy, isn't he? Luke O'Neill. Oh, this is the FA Cup. It's fine. We're out of the FA Cup. So against Bristol Road, there will be no cup run, unfortunately. Tell the children there will be no cup run this year. That's a shame, innit? There's all that finance we were hoping for. And everyone's now upset. What's the most famous footballer you reckon you'd have no chance of recognising? Who would I not recognise? I don't think I'd recognise Rodri. I reckon he could walk past me in the street quite easily. And I have no idea who he is. I think, who else would I not know? I don't think I'd recognise Sesko either. Can we all laugh at Liverpool? Of course we can. But is there any context for this? Any of those random Chelsea players there saying, oh, yeah, I wouldn't have a clue at anybody in the Chelsea team. Not at all. Like, if you were to tell me, all right, here's Caicedo, I'd be like, who? Who even is Caicedo? I know who he is, but I wouldn't have a clue. Wouldn't have a clue. I don't even know who their goalkeeper is. Do you know what I mean? They just lost 4-2. I would 4-2 to be Liverpool right now. Yeah. Why are we losing 2-0 saying he's playing so little attention? He doesn't even know what competition he's in. Yeah, I think I could pin that one, Alice. That's fair. Excellent. Good. Glad to hear that Liverpool have lost again. That's I find that humorous. That's nice. But yeah, all right. Come on then. In the chat then, who's the most famous footballer you reckon you wouldn't know? Like they could just walk past you straight away and you'd be like, I don't recognise them at all. I saw the viral photo of Higuain last week. In a million years, I wouldn't have recognised him. No, I wouldn't either. I thought he was part of the Wyatt family. I don't think I'd recognise Elliot Anderson. No. And he's meant to be quite popular. No idea. And to be fair, I couldn't even name you half of the Fulham team. You wouldn't recognise Wayne Rooney. You would recognise Wayne Rooney, Ryan. Come on. Even I would recognise Wayne Rooney. Yeah? I have early onset dementia, so most footballers. Fair enough. What about Bebe? Well, I mean, all right, okay. If we're going for like incredibly niche, do you know what? I don't think I'd recognise David Bellion or David Ngo walking past me. Tony, do you reckon you'd recognise Federico Macheda? No, probably not. Probably not. Don't watch the EPL. Look, if I know who plays for anymore, never mind recognise them. Okay, well look. Okay, the principle is the same in whatever division that you watch. So, in your league, like, I bet you don't even know what the Stadium of Light looks like. Honestly, no idea, Tim. No idea at all. Like, it could walk past me, and I'd be like, people are like, that's the Stadium of Light. I'd be like, what? What are you about? No, surely not. You'd recognise Darren Anderton, he'd be the one limping. Yeah. And he'd be next to Anders Limpar. I'd recognise Steven Gerrard. Yeah, he'd be slipping up. Yeah, we get that one. King Sergio, welcome in. But I'd recognise Sergio Ramos, I think. I'd be pretty confident about that. Jude, that's the weird one, isn't it? That's Job Bellingham, surely. I'd recognise Pepe. I would recognise Pepe. Yes. Sack looms over Taylor. Oh, thank God. Yes. Sorry, I read Sack and Darlington, and I thought it was me, and I was like, surely not. They can't be. The vultures can't be circling just yet. No word of a lie. I was at one of my retailers in Northern Ireland. Rooney was at the virtual golf shop next door. A virtual golf shop. I walked straight past him until someone said, that's Wayne Rooney. I wonder how many times Job gets mistaken for Jude. I would imagine Angus the other way around. I reckon loads of people are like, are you Job Bellingham? Especially around here anyway, because we know that Job's the better Bellingham. And by all accounts, apparently he now is actually settling in quite well in Germany, and is now actually starting to play quite decent. The way to do this is look at a list of the top footballers in the UK, starting from the top. Would you recognise them? Fair enough, Alice. Let's do that. Right. So, most famous footballers in the UK. Right. Okay. Living. It's famous. Living. Current footballers in the UK. Right, okay. So, is there some sort of the most popular contemporary footballers via YouGov? Okay, so here we go. This is where the government websites have now got involved. Okay, anybody heard of a guy called Ronaldo? Nah. Channel 5 already commissioning TJ identifies dead footballers. No, TJ, stop it. Don't say what you're about to say. Would you recognise the ghost of Bobby Robson? I would, yeah, because it'd be surrounded by a bunch of crying mags. Right, okay. Let's have a look then. Who have we got? So this is most popular contemporary footballers. Harry Kane. I'd recognise Harry Kane. I'm 99% sure I'd recognise Harry Kane. Lionel Messi. How's Lionel Messi less popular than Harry Kane? Blue Moon Boy, appreciate the follow here. Marcus Rashford. I probably would recognise him, I think. It doesn't work when the pictures are there. No, do you know what, Alice? It does. It does, because there's things I'm going, who is this person? Yeah? Because some of them I can think, right, fine, but I wouldn't know what's going on. Jack Grealish, I would recognise. Yes. Yeah, we'd recognise that one. Pickford, we'd absolutely recognise. 100%. You recognise Carlos Cuela? I did. I did. Mo Salah. Yeah, we'd recognise him. Chloe Kelly, possibly recognise. Declan Rice, I'm not sure I would recognise. Because I think Declan Rice looks a little bit too ordinary. Yeah. Jude Bellingham, I'd be thinking, that's not Joe Bellingham, is it? Beth Mead, I don't think I'd recognise Beth Mead. I'd like to think I could, but I don't think I'd be able to pick Beth Mead out. I'll tell you when, that's Beth Mead. Hugh Min, maybe. Kasper Schmeichel looks a bit like a Schmeichel. Erling Haaland's fairly recognisable. Cole Palmer can't pick himself out of a room, never mind other people. Ollie Watkins would recognise. Mary Earps would recognise. Danny Welbeck, probably. Harry Maguire, probably. Not sure. Sterling, possibly. Foden, possibly. Saka, maybe. Luis Diaz, I wouldn't recognise at all. De Bruyne, I know who De Bruyne is. Leah Williamson, I've got a rough idea. Same as Lauren Hemp. Vardy, yes. Russo. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Sadio Mane, I wouldn't have a clue. Kieran Trippier, I doubt I'd recognise Kieran Trippier. Unless he was at the Vermont Hotel, am I right? Hendo, I recognise that because he'd be kicking his morals up and down the street. Virgil van Dijk, I'd recognise him because he'd have his arse out. Lewandowski, would not recognise. Alexis McAllister, would not recognise. Ella Toon, don't think I'd recognise Ella Toon, unfortunately. James Maddison, would not recognise. This is a future WFM show pod. Show TJ pictures of players and see if he can guess them. Yes, we do that. Eze, no idea. Aaron Ramsey, no idea. Michelle Agamang, no idea. Lucy Bronze, yes. Didier Deschamps. The likelihood of me coming into contact with Didier Deschamps, I would probably recognise him. We recognise Roy Hodgson getting a crepe in York. We did recognise that. I did. Dean Henderson, not a chance. Hannah Hampton, don't think so. Gabriel Jesus, no. Trent Alexander-Arnold, well, he looks like a rat. Of course you'd recognise him. Doubt I would. Kylian Mbappe, possibly. If this person bought a coffee from you, would you know what name to write on the cup? Olivier Giroud, I'd recognise. Absolutely. Jesse Lingard, not a chance. Yamin Lamal, maybe? Don't really know. Don't think so. Luke Shaw, not a chance. Diego Costa, maybe. Bernardo Silva, no chance. Cody Gakpo, no chance. Wilfred Zaha, I doubt I'd recognise Wilfred Zaha. Or Benzema. Neymar, I know what he looks like. Jared Bowen, he can walk past me easily. Lauren James, I know. Bruno Fernandes, I know what his face looks like. Kyle Walker, I know what his face looks like. Aaron Ramsdale. Do you know what? I don't think I'd recognise Aaron Ramsdale. I think he could walk past. David De Gea. Maybe. I'd recognise David De Gea more than Romelu Lukaku. Mark Gay, I've got no idea. I know what Luka Modric looks like. Dele Alli, I know his face as well. N'Golo Kante, not a chance. Alex Greenwood, don't think so. Maybe. Ferran Torres, not a chance. Balotelli, yes. I'm concerned about the order of this list. I mean, it's only one of the problems with the list, isn't it, Hank? The order. Philip Coutinho, I'd recognise. Eric Dyer, not a chance in hell. Pedro Neto, no idea. Emi Martinez, I know what he looks like. N'Golo Kante is on here twice. So would I recognise him in a Leicester shirt? Yes, I would. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't recognise him at all. Conor Gallagher, nah. Julian Alvarez, nah. Millie Bright, I know who Millie Bright is. Morgan Gibbs-White, I don't really think I'd know. Ousmane Dembele, well, he's going to play for Sunderland next year, so yeah, we recognise him. Andy Carroll, I'd recognise. Kobe Mainoo, no idea. Martin Odegaard, no, I don't think I'd recognise him. Ashley Young, I'd know. Charlie Austin, not a clue. Federico Valverde, nothing. Emre Can, nah. Juan Mata, maybe. Donnarumma? I'm not convinced I'd know Donnarumma. David Luiz, if I couldn't see that hair, then, like, do you know what I mean? Like, of course I'd recognise David Luiz. Allison, I don't think I'd be able to pick Allison out. Gylfi Sigurdsson, well, maybe not. Donnarumma is very distinctive and quite tall. He is, and he looks quite hunched. But again, I'm just trying to think, like, walking around Aldi, would I recognise? Would I go, that's Donnarumma, or would I go, he looks quite tall? Enzo Fernandez, no idea. John Stones, not a clue. Polinia, nah. Curtis Jones, nah. Joe Gomez, nah. Doku, nah. Rhea, nah. Evening, Mad Scientist. How are we, my friend? Jess Carter, no. Frankie de Jong, no. How unpopular do you need to be to finish below that Icelandic player? I know, it's worrying, isn't it? I mean, to be fair, he is quite recognisable. But more for his crimes. And then Rudiger, nothing. That's 100 players, and I reckon I know about 20 of them, possibly. Right. Okay. Let's do that as part of I'll send you the link, Alice, and we can do that as part of a WFM show. Reece James is below his sister. That's a wonderful thing. That is wonderful. Was that more players that you expected me to know, or less? Or did that sound about right? Just like, yeah, sort of what we expected from TJ, to be honest. That's less. What you expected? You expected me to know more players? Now spell them. THEM. Can't spell any of them. So if Liverpool lost today, does that mean they can't get in the Champions League now? Or is that? Or does it now go to the last day of the season? Still 4 points ahead of Bournemouth. Oh, okay. So it's not that bad then, is it, really? I love the fact that that's a sentence, isn't it? Like, oh, no. They still get the Champions League. They're 4 points ahead of Bournemouth. The top 16 Premier League clubs all get in the Champions League. That's it, Llama, innit? Yeah. Oh, that's good. As long as they've scraped in, then that's the important thing, isn't it? You know, it would be embarrassing, innit, if that 7 clubs from the Championship didn't quite get in there, but the automatic bias the round of 32. Do you know what? I'm just that will be true as well, won't it? That will be true. It's all a bit shit, in it, really. It's got that point again. It's like, real football's just a bit rubbish, isn't it? I've got a little bit of excitement to look forward to in terms of a few football kits getting released, but after that, not much. What's the most teams you can have qualify for Europe? England. I think. No idea what's low. I think it's like 56 or something. Sims lines up the free kick, goes over the top, unfortunately. Ball in. Binley picks it up. Gary Kelly. Cole Sims. Bottom corner. There we go. 10, 6 regular, 3 through other bits and bobs, and 1 through the coefficient. I mean, what? Honestly, like 10, that's literally half the league. Like, what's the point at that point? You know what I mean? Just create a space league again and tell everyone to pit and tell all the space league teams just to piss off. Yeah. Get them all gone. Start again. Big clock and a couple of the who would be in your Premier League of proper clubs. Ooh, here we go, Lama. Here we go. Proper clubs. Now, okay, now how are we defining a proper club? Are we defining it via success? Are we defining it via fan base? Location? Do we need 20? Do we need 20 clubs? Hang on, they just feel proper. This feels like a tier list thing, doesn't it? Yeah. So if I was to do a Google sheet, then right, I'm glad I'm not easily distracted. Right. So 20 proper clubs. This is not in any specific order either. Okay. Okay. I mean, well, right. Let's potentially consider that we might get a victory. So let's. Oh, hang on. I've spoken too quickly. All right, Kelly. They just feel right. Proper fans, proper stadium, proper history, proper part of the country. It's a shame for London, isn't it? They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose a lot. Start with Man United. Man United have got to be in there. Man United absolutely have to be in there. You know, absolutely they've got to be in. Bury, Alderman, Tranmere. I mean, that's three left field suggestions from Rougeau there. Right, Houghton can come off for Coulson. Let's pop Bond out on the right. Hendo's looking a bit nervy. Forest have got to be in. Yeah. Sheffield Wednesday's definitely got to be there. Right, okay. I hate to say it. Liverpool have to be in there, right? Okay. Forest, Sheffield Wednesday, Villa, Everton, Leeds. I think they've got to be in there as well. Who else would I have in there? Are Leeds a proper club? Leeds are a proper club. Absolutely. Man United have been in the Premier League for so long. Let someone else like Rochdale be there. Oh yeah. Let's get Rochdale involved in it for all their relevance in the world of proper. I mean, if we're gonna do well-run community clubs, then possibly. But we're not giving places out. You put Leicester in there. No, Leicester aren't a proper club. Leicester aren't even the best club in the East Midlands. Yeah, like Derby go ahead of Leicester in terms of being involved, but I'm not sure Derby make it. Right, you know what I mean? Like I'm putting Sunderland in there, right, and therefore I'm gonna have to put the Mags in there as well, right? Okay. Right, the original Wimbledon. The original Wimbledon's a good shout. So I think Sheffield Wednesday over Sheffield United. I think West Ham are a nothing club, personally. I don't like. I think there's just no point in West Ham. There's no point in West Ham. Blackburn aren't a proper club either, unfortunately. Like, they were bankrolled for a short period of time and then they struggled off the back of it. So I feel sorry for them. I do. I'd like to see them back in the Premier League, but I don't think they make the 20 proper clubs. Chelsea don't make the proper clubs. Fulham aren't a real club either. No, Fulham aren't. No. I don't. Are Spurs in? Right, here's the question, right? And this is probably going to upset a few people. Do Spurs hit the proper clubs thing? Probably. They've won a trophy in memory. They've sort of been there or thereabouts. We've got 20 positions to fit. We need to have some London clubs in there. Exactly. It's the thing. So you'd sort of end up having to have Arsenal. As much as Arsenal are a bit like, they're a bit like, nowadays they're not much, are they? But Arsenal, Spurs. I quite like Palace. Stoke. I understand the thinking for Stoke, but you might as well put Wolves and Bolton at that point. I mean, they're not. Preston North End. Man City are nowhere near this list, by the way. Not at all. Man City are not a real club. So what's that? Hang on, if I get rid of this, let's delete that just so I know where I'm at. So we've got 11. We've got 9 clubs to fill. Someone like Forest to represent the lovely town of Nottingham. Forest, they're already there. Yeah. Villa, already there. Who else we have? Notts County. They're not. Again, just because you were there at the start doesn't really mean, like, what have they done since? That's the problem. Like, they've gone all the way right down. Villa aren't a proper club. As much as I've fallen out of love for them, they are though, aren't they? Really. Like, Villa Park's a proper stadium. Former European Cup winners as well. Got to consider that. Just to throw a name out, Swindon. I'll throw it back. We don't need them. Villa are like Chelsea. Oh, discuss. Because Chelsea were nothing until Abramovich turned up. And Villa have been nothing forever. West Ham have a European trophy. Yeah, it's not the European Cup though, is it? Like, um, I don't understand why that's happened, Pars, bro. I've got no idea. Uh, who else should it be? Who are the proper football clubs? Twitch doesn't recognise the greats of English football. I mean, it's only Blackburn, though, isn't it? Portsmouth? West Brom? Brom's are possible. Norwich? See, so the thing with Preston, Bury, I feel like those clubs have been left to rot a little bit. And because of that, I'm sort of like, so my thinking is at this point is if Preston got back into the Premier League, yeah, would they be able to push on? Like, you know, what would they do? We haven't got the money to offer Sims a new contract, innit? We can't afford to offer you a new deal right now. That's fine. Look, there's nothing I can do. So, great. Okay, so we're going to lose our striker. Excellent. Ipswich, Alf Ramsey, Bobby Robson, FA Cup, UEFA Cup. Also, Nigel Farage and Ed Sheeran. So, that's the question. Football fans who aren't tourists. Agreed. That's a good thing to look at. A good thing to look at. So I learned Sheffield Wednesday's original name was the Wednesdays. Are we only looking at 92 onwards? No. We're not, Joel. But I'm trying to filter because again, I'm trying to consider where these teams fit in the thing. Because if we go back for historic clubs, then absolutely there's some clubs we need to consider. But if we're looking at vibes, it's not an easy job, is it? You know what I mean? Wasn't Charlton around a lot of times when the Premier League was still proper? Yeah, but Charlton, they're a bit crap, aren't they? And also as well, like, look, Charlton don't get in because of the playoff final against Sunderland. So, and when they beat us again within the last second. Have we got Everton? Yes, we got Everton in there. So here's the thing, right? So we can't actually back down there in these conversations. Southampton until 4 years ago or until recently. How have we missed Everton? We haven't. We haven't missed Everton at all. Everton was like number 6. Portsmouth are more deserving than Southampton. Yeah, but that's not to say that either of them are deserving, really. You know, Derby are probably more deserving than both of them. You know, West Brom is interesting. Bolton's an interesting one. I mean, let's put some ones that are potentially in consideration then. Right. So Bolton's a maybe. Nostalgia makes you enjoy Redknapp's, Portsmouth and Allardyce's Bolton. See? That's the point, isn't it? That's the problem. Are you a proper club if your stadium is not at least 75 years old? Crew Alexandra. All right, Notts County goes on there. I mean, maybe Norwich was on there as well. Ipswich was on there. West Brom. Cutting Arsenal from the list. Wolves. Luton. Luton isn't even a proper airport, never mind a proper football club. Middlesbrough. Bless them. Bless them. Swansea just for vibes. Yeah, just chuck them and Cardiff in just to see what goes down. Looks Bolton up 4 times FA Cup winners, never won the league. Does that qualify? I've got no idea. We're trying to work out based on. We have no parameters with which to base this on either. That's the thing. As Alice has said, you know, Katie would love how arbitrary this all is, because we don't have any criteria to judge this on other than just like, do we like them as a club? And I know what I'm like. I tend to dislike most things, so this is gonna be tricky, innit? You know, if we go back through the entire history, Preston should be there despite never being in the Prem. Yeah, vibe-based decision-making is the best. Vibes-based, no Hull, no Blackpool. Well, I agree with that. Absolutely. But historically, you'd have Blackpool there because of Stanley Matthews. So do we have the Tom Finney Preston era? Brentford and Brighton always struck me as solid clubs. Again, they're very recent though, aren't they? I mean, 3's going up and down, we need 17. You still need all 20 though to start the league, don't you? Should we put Celtic in there just to mix it up a little bit? When was Brighton founded? 1990. Yeah, they've only been around for a few weeks, haven't they? And I don't think that anyone really knew that Brentford existed until recently. Like, and then it was just like, oh, they've done well with recruitment, haven't they? And it's like, ooh, Brentford? Are they in the Premier League? Like, do you know what? I'll let you have Wolves. Wolves, I agree with, actually. Right, Wolves is a lock. Okay? Right, Wolves go in. Brentford are edgy because they have a B team and not a reserve team. Chelsea are the Mumford and Sons of football. Yeah. They are crap, aren't they? Didn't we say Palace? I did like Palace, actually. Ank will be living in this Brighton shade. I mean, that's, you know, maybe that's the thing. Maybe we put Palace in at the expense of Brighton. But then are we now just doing the Premier League again? So how far down the pyramid do we go to get some proper fans? Because what I'd like in this league is I'd like teams that have, and this is an absolute utopian dream, by the way, it's not going to happen, but teams with unique chants. I don't want teams who have like shit pretend ultras, which are like, you know, 14-year-old kids in Stone Island jumpers with their scarves around their faces. We talked about this in Llama's stream the other afternoon. Millwall, there's a proper club. There's a proper club. You can set your watch by Millwall. make the case that Spurs are a proper club. I don't think they are, or Arsenal. I would argue that, do you know what? I would find it easier to accept Arsenal in the Wenger era because of they just like Highbury Arsenal. I respect Highbury Arsenal. I don't respect Emirates Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? I just think they're a different thing now. In the same way, I think that White Hart Lane Tottenham is not Tottenham Hotspur Stadium Tottenham. Evening, Callum. How are you, my friend? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Callum, help us if you can, please, sir. We're trying to pick the top 20 teams that should potentially be in a Premier League, and we're going for proper club vibes. It is nostalgia, Joe, but I'm trying to separate the two things. And again, this is where West Ham comes in, because West Ham at Upton Park better than West Ham at the London Stadium. But I think Everton still. It's not a controversial shout, Pars, bro. Stoke aren't getting in. They're useless. They're in a complete nothing part of the country, and if it wasn't for the fact that they just did some long ball, no one would really care. Stoke are only famous for not being Port Vale. Have we considered Slough yet? That was the first name on the sheet, believe it or not. Stoke are iconic. Are they? Am I giving them a disrespect? Are Stoke only there because of the could he do it on a cold Wednesday night in Stoke? Like, it became too memey, didn't it? What about Reading? Akron and Stanley. There we go. There, now we're getting somewhere. What about Hartlepool? They had 7 Champions League winners at one point. Yeah, but then that's just like, that's one season of decent recruitment. Sheffield Wednesday. I've got Wednesday on the list. Not United, but I've got Wednesday on the list. Darlow don't go on the list. York City don't go on the list. Stoke have been around forever. Yeah, well, there's no lifestyle fans flying in. Well, absolutely, yeah. Pars does have a point. I don't know if they do social media. They'll definitely do. They'll definitely do a social media. Surely. Let me quickly check. I'm gonna right. You know, if Stoke City don't have a Twitter account, they have a Twitter account. Right? Stoke City are out. But it's 1 million. Well, there's 1 million Twitter followers. That they definitely do social media. Yeah, Stoke are gone. Right. Sorry, Stoke. You've fallen on the fact you have a Twitter. Right. And it's Pars Pro's fault for saying you didn't have one. Yeah. And Bournemouth are nowhere near that. Bournemouth are ridiculous. You know what I mean? Bournemouth is just full of old, retired, rich Londoners. 1 million people following Stoke. What are you doing with your lives? Yeah. Who on earth is following Stoke City on Twitter? They do not have 1 million followers. They don't have 1 million fans at all. No chance. Southampton and Portsmouth. I'm not convinced. I don't know what Southampton and Portsmouth bring to the table. What about like a Macclesfield? I'm not having Wigan in there. Derby? Do we make a case for Derby? Is that a no for Derby, Dan, or is that a no for Bradford? Burnley. Now there's a football club you can set your watch by. Can't believe Burnley are making the cut. Burnley doesn't exist. I wouldn't be convinced otherwise. Burnley was okay. So again, Burnley never had the Jack Walker money, did they? I know they've now got the JJ Watt money, but Burnley is pretty much a ditch, innit? Like it's like at the bottom of a hill. Thing is, they now do have like tourist fans because of the American connection. We've thrown away a 2-goal league because I've been doing an imaginary Premier League team. Great. Last kick of the game as well. Fuck's sake. And of course, Boston are in the relegation zones. Jesus Christ. And our centre forward wants to leave because we can't give him a new contract. Blackburn 100%. Again, I'm not convinced about Blackburn, Callum. Like I can see it, but I just think had they not won the league, would we care as much? They bought the league. They bought the league fair and square. And after that, look what happened. This is why Leicester's not in it. The kit is iconic. Now we're talking, actually. Now we're talking. Aesthetically, can we show the team sheet for the last game? Yes, I can do. Yeah. Klug, Billington, Henderson, Douglas, Ablett, Belston, Bernard Ferguson, Bindley, Kelly, Houghton, and Sims. Name a team who hasn't won the league. Oh, yeah, no, they've all bought the league. They've all bought the league. Exactly. Every single team bought the league. Not Liverpool. We spent nothing. We won the league. We spent nothing. Well, obviously all the seasons before they did that, but yeah. Can you be a proper club if you're giving away a whole stand to away supporters? That's Wigan behaviour. Ooh, there we go. That's putting stuff out there, isn't it? I think what we're proving right now is that this is quite tricky. Yeah. Coventry have been through a lot. Coventry have been through a lot, haven't they? There's no rules to this game. None at all. None at all, Alice. It is just 100% guesswork. And I don't even know if I understand what's the criteria. Not good, bit crap, nice kit. I mean, that's my criteria for most things, Callum. But we thought about like what makes a proper club was what we're trying to get. So things like good fan base or like an actual fan base, iconic stadium maybe, just feels right. Making up as he's going along. Yeah, pretty much. Like what team? I guess maybe part of this as well. What team would you be sad to see go? Like, oh, they can't go. Like, just for context, Chelsea and Man City are not on this list, right? Because they're not real football clubs. For me, Fulham on the list because they're not the millionaires from the King's Road aren't on this list, right? Not having it. Bournemouth aren't on the list. Crystal Palace are probably going to go on the list. In fact, let's put Crystal Palace on there now, just because we haven't got enough actual things. But it's still too Premier League heavy. You wouldn't like it. What about Newcastle? I don't like it, but Newcastle are already on the list. Brighton are a bit. I don't know. It Until like recently, were Brighton even a club? You're going Leicester, didn't buy the league, Filbert Street. They did buy the league though. They look, they didn't buy the league in the way that everyone else bought the league, but you know, now look at them. QPR, Brighton too modern. And also, after Leicester bought the league, now look what happens. Yeah? Sorry, not bought the league, won the league. Brighton are bankrolled by a gambling syndicate. Yeah, and they're trying to buy the Scottish League as well. AFC Wimbledon we like, MK Dons we don't. Used to do Sports Day on Brighton's old ground. Does that give them any credibility? Does now. Question was, were you supposed to do Sports Day on Brighton's old ground, or did you just turn up? Are we shoehorning any Welsh sides in? I mean, look, I'm all for creating confusion and drama here. Yeah. Get Barry in there. Blackpool. Could be worse. Trying the same idea with Scottish clubs. I've only got 8. Well, 8 proper Scottish clubs. Yes. I mean, the thing is, obviously, one Scottish club isn't. I mean, they don't have a history, do they? They say they do, but they don't really. They had to be reborn. They can't go in. What are we looking for? We're trying to work out proper football clubs, Jebru. If you were to make the top 20 proper football clubs based on, I mean, there isn't even any criteria. Like, I don't really know what we're judging it on, but I'm saying no to a lot of teams. Oldham were mentioned before. They were mentioned before. But did we just feel sorry for Oldham because of the fact they were in the Premier League and now they're well not? Historically, where did Oldham end up? What was the thing? But then am I actually counting history at all? We don't really know. Fulham have to be there, even if I don't know where it is. Honestly, Fulham they're pointless. Absolutely pointless. Fulham. If it wasn't for Mohamed Al Fayed, Fulham wouldn't be in the Premier League. For some reason, they had a statue of Michael Jackson. Like, why? You know, and I'm a Michael Jackson fan, but what is the relevance? Yeah. There's no need. There's no need. Swindon. Look, I know Swindon lot don't seem to respect us, but we don't respect the Swindon lot either. All clubs are owned by wankers. True. But what I mean is, though, is like sometimes those wankers put clubs into false positions, like as in getting them into divisions where they're maybe not meant to be. You know, if it wasn't for wanker owners, there would be no Man City or Chelsea. Yeah. Swindon Slugs. Hull. Does anybody really care? Like, Hull's just a rugby town, isn't it? So. But Barnsley. I've got Leeds. Yeah, we got Leeds. Who's in anyway? It's a good question, Jeb. Like, I feel like we've got the Premier League, really. Are we abandoning football? Yeah, Forest, Liverpool, Man U, Sheffield Wednesday, Villa, Everton, Leeds, Sunderland, the Mags, Arsenal, Spurs, Wolves, and Palace. But I feel as though there's more. Derby is an option. But whether that's just me because of Brian Clough. Sheffield United. I went Wednesday for Sheffield. I wasn't sure if Sheffield deserved 2 teams or not. There are some outliers which none of us agree on. Yeah, that's the problem, innit? Sheffield United had Jimmy Muir, the birthplace of football. Oh, Sheffield FC, yeah. Evening Wave, welcome in. Arsenal were bankrolled early on, would be nothing without that backing. Oh, yeah. Like all football clubs would be like that. Sunderland used to be the Bank of England club. You know, Liverpool were the Conservative club. You know? So set up by the Tories. You know? Sheffield United also had Dave Bassett, Neil Warnock, and Kevin forgot his surname. Kevin Horlock, maybe? They also had David McGoldrick as well, I suppose. Google clubs longest in the Premier League and fill in the gaps. No, just being in the Premier League doesn't cut it, does it? Because that means you're only really judging clubs on like 30 years worth of existence, rather than clubs that have been around for over 100 years. I like Lama's point about like new stadiums. That's the thing. But then, you know, because like going back to those, but then again, going back to those old stadiums, that's when it really mattered, isn't it? I don't know. I feel as though this is like, should we strike someone off the list? Well, this is the thing. Yeah, this is the thing, Lama. Yeah, we've got everything. We've got a new stadium. We've got Nepo billionaires, reform councillors. Ugh. We haven't won a trophy for a long time, so you know we're only on the list because we've got a TV program. Yeah. At the end of this, the list will be Sunderland plus 18 Bundesliga clubs. There's be Sleman from Indonesia in there. Isn't having a TV program woke? Well, it is. This is what I mean. Like, yeah. So I'm now starting to think we need to take us off. Actually. Yeah. Do you know what? Let's get rid of all football clubs. Actually, let's start again. Like if we were to make a Premier League, what would we have in there? So, I reckon we'd have. Is anyone's school team quite ethical? Yeah. Start at the top. Let's work down from the Chicago Bulls. And again, not a great example, I know. Oh. Not the Catholic ones. One of us worth taking a close look at Newcastle, given their attendance in the 80s. Oh, I mean, look, I'm more than happy to get Newcastle off the list. You know? Mainly just due to their fans. But I say the Corinthian Casuals, but they were a merger. Derby and QPR get us close. Evening, Zeep. Welcome in. Welcome to the madness. No idea what's going on. Literally no idea. What we should do is we should put 92 clubs all in together, right? And then add another 22. Take it all from there. Have them all. Battle to the death. Oh, fuck off. Penalty decision. The Derby train's getting momentum. The Derby thing, I like the vibe for Derby, right? And I'm doing it Not just for the Brian Clough thing, but I'm also doing it for Jim Smith. But sneak Portsmouth in via the back door. Portsmouth. What on earth? What have Portsmouth done for anybody? TW Custom Mod 92-man Royal Rumble. Not Preston. Right, look, if everyone loves Preston so much, Preston North, right? Okay, right, fine. You can have Preston, but no one's getting Portsmouth, right? There's no need for Portsmouth. And do you know why? For that dickhead that changed his name to Portsmouth FC, right? That's why. Okay, so because of that, they're not getting there. And also, Portsmouth Jonglers is the worst Jonglers comedy club. So yeah, no Portsmouth. Sorry. Yeah, and the bell prick. Yeah. Sorry, Portsmouth. Stop outing Sam Adjo's real name. Yeah, right. Okay, right. You can have Preston North End if you want. Then Derby go in as well. So 5 more teams to actually get in, and then we'll inevitably cut it and start again. Derby were bankrolled by Ghislaine Maxwell's father in the 80s. Were they? Is that true? Is that right? Because if it's not, and this is just like chucking stuff out, then I like that. I've gone hook, line, and sinker on it. What do I think is the hardest save on Football Manager? No idea. The one I'm doing right now. Chelsea have to be it. No chance. Chelsea are a nothing club. They were nothing before Vladimir Putin bought them. In the same way that Man City were a nothing club before State of Qatar bought them, or Abu Dhabi, whatever state owns them. Technically a family business. Do you know what? I think I'd find it easier to do a list of teams to boot to the moon and never see again. Maybe I do that. Maybe that's the thing I do. I do 20. I boot a load of teams to the moon, and then the 20 I'm left with are the 20 that I've got to be all happy with. Maybe that's it. That's how we work it. MK Dons as anti-proper football. Yeah, I mean, they MK Dons are gone. Man City are gone. That's a long list, but it would be the long list into the short list. Do it backwards, exactly. Right, so we haven't got a lot left here, right? So what's all football clubs? Okay. So the 92, right? Okay. So let's do this. Okay. 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 So out of these teams, who are we booting? Right. Arsenal. Are we booting them to the moon? Possibly. Villa. Right. Bournemouth are gone. Right. Get rid of Bournemouth. Don't need them. Brentford. Nah. Fuck off. Brighton. I mean, look, you think that they're real, right? I'm not entirely sure. Burnley. Chelsea are gone for me. Fulham. Get them out of there. Man City gone. West Ham, nah, you're gone as well. Bristol City, Charlton gone. Leicester, rubbish. Hull, Rugby Town. Middlesbrough, what's the point? Millwall might keep you for a little bit. You could be Oxford. I mean, look, the whole FFP thing with me. Get you gone. Portsmouth, silly bell, prick. QPR, I'm not convinced by. Southampton, I mean, you already know the outcome of this. Swansea gone. Watford. Serious question, where was Chelsea before Abramovich? Like, well, the season before Abramovich, second, but before that, non-existent, really. Wrexham, I think Wrexham go, but let's do them later. Right. Wimbledon, Barnsley, Bradford, Burton Albion. Does anybody care about Burton Albion? Pre-2019, most proper club in the English Football League. Yeah. They are the most proper English football club because they're Welsh. Oh, we're not. No, of course they weren't non-existent, but like as in like they were a nothing club. They were usually finishing around about 12th. They certainly weren't challenging for any honours. Let's pull that list back up for a second. Burton Albion, gone. Cardiff have got some madhead fans, haven't they? Donny. Exeter. But they stayed in there before the Russians. No, they didn't. No, they were gone. They were gone before the Russians as well. Most of their fans are pricks, to be honest. Do you know what? I've never met a decent Chelsea fan. I'm pretty sure I haven't. Exeter are fan owned. That's the highlight. I've already deleted them. Leyton Orient, Lincoln City, Luton. I mean, that goes. That's gone. Mansfield. Don't think Mansfield have got to be in there, have they? I'll get rid of Mansfield as well. A team of stadium is called the Eco Power Stadium is not proper. Do you know what? I like the fact it's Eco Power. They have a bank, yeah. Brisbane Road, that sounds Australian. Get rid of them. Even Goodger, how are you, pal? Welcome in. Rotherham Stadium's in New York, so that must be class. Stevenage. I don't even really know where Stevenage is, if I'm honest. Oh. Where is Stevenage? It feels like it should be round about where Northampton is. Is that right? Exeter had the nicest staff in League Two. You visited all the club in the league for work. Oh, actually, I've just realised if I'm Jeb, if I'm going to send that email to all those football clubs about trying to get comedy gigs, I shouldn't do this on stream, should I? You're not a real club. Should probably have thought this through. Do you know what? All football clubs are class. I love football clubs the best. And what we should really do is we should have like a 92 team league where everybody gets to play in the Premier League. Apart from Premier League teams, because we haven't got contact details for them. So they can go and suck a bag of dicks, right? But all the Football League clubs, like, honestly, you are the best. And non-league clubs, even better. Yeah, even better. Didn't you contact the scene to get a sweet Abu Dhabi gig? Yeah, my comedy would go down great there, I think. Thanks, Jeb. Promo sorted. Yeah, Art Football Club's great. Delete the bot. Yeah, no son, nothing, mate. Been away. Did TJ get cancelled? Oh, yeah, a couple of times. The real football clubs are the clubs that we made along the way. I'm very much looking forward to going out tomorrow for an anniversary meal. Not have to say anything that's going to get me in trouble. Some football clubs didn't know what a comedian is, let alone a DVD. Well, these are my people. What do you make of Rolos? I love a Rolo. Do you know what? I do love a Rolo. I do. I haven't had a Rolo in ages. I might go get some Rolos tomorrow. Also, was better than Munchies. Are they better than Munchies? Do you know what? No, I think I prefer a roll. I think I'd prefer a roll. I like a munchie. The munchies are alright. They've got a little bit of crunch, not a lot, and that's why I like. It's not all crunch, right? Because the worry is you could make them crunchy, too crunchy actually, and then what they come is they become a little working class appetizer, a munchie. But yeah, no, a Rolo, and a Rolo's egg is good as well. Well, there's us a goal down. Mint munchies. What? Mint munchies? That can't be a thing, surely. If Rolos are infused, if Rolos emulsified fat, not chocolate these days. I mean, none of it's real anymore, is it? In a sense. And I think a Rolo's egg's quite nice as well. I've had a Rolo dessert pop. See, I'm not a fan of those sorts of things. I find them too sickly. Mini eggs for the win. Mini eggs are class, like, yeah. I think we can all agree that mini eggs are mint. Eat the Rolo half first. Supposed to mix them. Worst confectionery victim of shrinkflation. Do you know, I think the Mars bar's been humbled. Like, I feel like Mars bars were a reasonable size, or now they're just like they're a shadow of their former selves. Or also the two-finger Kit Kat. Yeah, the two-finger Kit Kat just feels like it's not even there. Gold, but that's the one. Yes, gold bars. Yeah. So small, they now fit on cakes. Yet the Jammy Dodger has retained its size. Explain that to me. Kit Kat Chunky feels like a 90s Kit Kat finger. They used to be chunky, didn't they? Used to be able to. What's that? Mars bars used to be filling. Now they're no more than a Milky Way. I mean, what? That is a Do you know what? We need to send that to Mars actually, and say, look, this is the view right now. Yeah, Yorkie is the correct answer. Is that the one? Is it? Is that once they had to accept that Yorkies were for everybody and they weren't allowed to gender their chocolate? I'm sure I read, and maybe this came up in your research as well, Jebru, but the 3% apparently is the maximum reduction in something you can do before anybody really notices. So every year, if something's reducing 3%, then you're that's how you end up with that size down. 45 grams. What's the point of even a 45 gram? Yorkies were 40 grams. Then they did the misogynistic branding, went up to 70. Now back down to 45. In the old days, you need 2 mates to clamp your jaw down to open a double decker. They're a dinky decker now, aren't they? Anton Decker these days. Carol Decker. She's been part of shrinkflation, I think. What a wasted pass. It's going to be another defeat, folks, by the looks of it. But that's fine. We weren't really bothered about the football, were we? Don't think so. Right, 1-0 defeat. That's not great. Could do with one of those crashes we had last week. That would be quite good. Kings Lynn beneath us as well. 8 defeats in 19. 7 wins, 4 draws. So the thing as well is that this isn't terrible because, again, if we're expected to finish 17th and we're going to have to sell loads of players as well, or release loads of players, sorry, who knows where we end up next year in the league. You say it now, TJ, but you're going to have to explain to Si, Matt and Aaron why you're still in non-league. I think they know why, Alice. I think they'd be more surprised if I wasn't non-league than if I was. Right. I can't call a meeting about Cole Sims's contract because we haven't got the money to give him a new contract. I'd love to. Like, I'd be more than happy to release a load of players in order to give him a new contract, but that's not going to work. How much is Bond getting? He's 800 quid and he's not really playing. Actually, could we get rid of Paddy Bond, maybe? He's played 6 games for 800 quid. Oh dear. Came across an Argentinian football club called Boxing Club. UK can just have the Malvinas from now on, as far as I care. Go and get the Boxing Club promoted, yeah? Cool, some wanted by Grimsby. Got the players on non-contract basis. Kelly's wanted by Port Vale. So's Belston. Oh dear, I think we're going to lose some players, which might be fine. It might allow us to sort of like shuffle the pack a little bit. See where we go from there, but I don't know. I don't know whether 4-1-4-1 is the way to go, whether we shuffle things again. Do we go back to bastard ball? Everyone's replaceable at this level, aren't you? You gave your son a free transfer. That is true, actually. I think that's the reality, isn't it? Like, literally everyone is dispensable at this point. Just gonna have to get them all out the door. Just see what we can do with it. Yeah, let's give it a couple more weeks, and then what's that? That leads us up into this December, so good enough time as any to start looking for more players. Are there any semi-pro clubs outperforming me in the league? How would I know for semi-pro? Let me have a look. Oops. A Bath semi-pro? Yeah, Bath. They're outperforming. They're second. Stevenage are third. Scunthorpe are top. Fylde. Barnet. Yeah, I've got a feeling that everyone is now semi-pro in this league. Oh, hang on. Dulwich Hamlet are pro. Crawley are professional. Dartford are obviously semi-pro. Yeah, they're ahead of us. Morecambe are professional, so they're ahead of us. Aldershot, semi-pro. Havant and Waterlooville, they're semi-pro. East Leigh, they're semi-professional. Curzon Ashton, they're semi-pro. Grimsby, semi-professional. Southend, professional. So yeah, lots of, pretty much everyone really is outperforming us. So something's got to give, I think. No worries, musician. Take it easy, my friend. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We will see you on Sunday, actually, when we're back with TEW. Total Extreme Wrestling, the Backseat Wrestling Sunday Slam returns. For those of you who missed out, I actually start to take a bit of attention there. Darlow knocked out the National League Cup. Brilliant. Didn't play the game. Means there's a chance of getting out of the division while semi-pro then. Theoretically, yeah. It should be able to be done, but this guy, if someone can derail our chances, it's this lad. And we haven't got any chances. So I can ruin this from miles out. What's our form been like? Is it worth trying to get involved with a bit of a, hey, maybe we should just well, we obviously can't do a team meeting just yet. Let's pop Hendo back in. I mean, Ablett's doing well. He's on a 7.1 at the minute. maybe it's time for him to step in. Jones for Bindley. I mean, Bindley. I want Bindley to be good, and he is, but I just think that there's maybe something we might have to sacrifice Bindley. Even Tuny, how are we, pal? Welcome in. You were back from a Terrorvision gig. Wow. I didn't realise Terrorvision was still going. I mean, you'll be glad to know, Tuny, you've not missed anything. You've not missed anything positive. Not a thing. We're in the National League Cup or whatever it's called. We haven't qualified from that. So we're gonna looks like we're gonna struggle. Even in the league, we're not doing great. There you go, 1-0 down. But you were asking about, whether anything that we hadn't seen before. You presumed this, right? And yeah, I think maybe with the fact that we're overspending on wages, I think we are going to have to ship a few players out. Good ball through. There's Sims. Try and clear the decks in December and then have another go. Like how that's going to work, I've got no idea, but we might as well give it a go. New squad in January's as good as any, right? This report, Tony Singh's slightly better than Danny McNamara. Although Danny's brother Richard was at the gig. That is interesting, actually. What do we think? Is it formation and personnel, or one or the other? I guess we might have to go back to that whole thing that Llama likes for us, going, right, how do we want to play? What do we want to be known for? Try and break it down, try and explain what we're trying to do. Get back to the drawing board. Working out fully. What's going wrong? What players are in the right position? What players are at the wrong club? I am very much happy just to sort of click through stuff, and that's part of the reason we spend a long time in the non-leagues. Oh, it's another free kick. Here's another goal, isn't it? Oh. So Coulson again on a 6-1. He's not. Still not having a great time. Kelly. I mean, I know Kelly's a very, very good player. Is it worth trying to get some money for him and getting him out the team? Or it feels quite counterproductive, doesn't it, to get rid of your best player? But I guess given the fact that Cole Sims, his contract's not going anywhere. Great ball at the top. Sims is through. What a finish. It's a good ball from Coulson as well. So we're saying that Coulson's not having a great game, but all of a sudden puts that ball on the top, and then look at that. Now he's on a 6-7. RG down the line. Oh, hang on. He's gone. He's gone. Not on the way. Coulson getting in there for the header, I think. Oof. Cole Sims is away. Put the ball in. No. Pulls it back. Critchlow. Jones. Bindley. Oh, Coulson's over the top. It was close. It wasn't close. What, 1-1 in a cup that we're getting knocked out of? Fair enough. Fair enough. Cleared away, thankfully. Cleared away, cleared away. That'll do. Let's move it. Go on. Great. Penalties. You know what? That'll be fun. Let's do penalties. I wasn't expecting penalties, so that could be fun. By fun, I mean not fun. Come on then. Is that Tyler Adams? Tom Adams. I wouldn't recognize Tyler Adams in the street either. I like how like they're sort of like they like ghost in on the penalties, just like sort of like doing the Danny DeVito sort of shuffle when they're on the game show. Wilson's missed. That'll be us losing, probably, I'm guessing. That's another miss. Straight down the middle. Just, you know what? We should just instant result at this point. This is like really, really bad. Really bad penalties. Come on, lads. Oh, there you go. That's us done for. I mean, look, Bournemouth celebrating that. I mean, that's, for me, that's pathetic, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So we finished fourth in our league. It wasn't enough. Williams is out. Um, okay, so if we now have a look at what we've got in terms of players are out of contract at the end of this season. So Walker Smith, Eddie Houghton's on 1,500 quid. We're not really playing him. That seems like a waste of money, doesn't it? Kalkowski we're trying to get rid of. The thing is, Houghton could end up being good, but for that amount of money, we need him gone, unfortunately. Bindy Coulson, Critchlow's on not much. Gary Kelly's on 2.2 thousand. That's a lot in it. And he's got another year on his contract. Port Vale want him in League Two. Can we get 100 grand for him, do you reckon, maybe? What's his personality? Fickle. Do you know what? I'm going to offer him out. See if we can get something for him. Because I think 2 grand off the wage budget, bit of money in the bank. Yes, he's highly influential, but he's not really playing that well. He's on a 6.57 this season. One mistake that's led to a goal. 13 interceptions, 9 clearances, 1.3 assists, 2 chances created. He's expected 1.3 assists. He's made 2, but still. That's not good, is it? Not for the money we're paying for him. And then Bindley's the other option, isn't he? I mean, he's got 2 assists, expected 0.92, 3 chances created, 2 mistakes leading to a goal, 31 interceptions. Right, okay. I think we need to have a bit of a little nosy on what we've got and how it's going to work, because I think we're gonna have to lose a couple of players, to be honest. Are we paying Josh? Are we paying Josh Mack? Right, do you know what? Let's release Josh Mack. That might free up some cash as well. Then other players that are just not appearing will save us some money. What we got next? Dartford. Right, let's play Dartford and see what that does. So Josh Mack's gone. Does that help us in the wage budget at all? A little bit. There's a little bit done there. Right, yeah, first game of December. Let's do this and then just borderline antagonize anybody that wants to have either something ending on a clear month or, you can't start a new month with the fixtures. We will. So the fans seem happy enough. The board seem happy enough. Oh, Jackson Hughes, he's a good player, which we're never going to get anywhere near now. £450. We're going to miss out for £450. Terrible. It's fine. We should have known better. We obviously haven't done our due diligence. So we are where we are, unfortunately. Let's put Tilsley in for Sims. Other than that, it's the same side that drew with Bournemouth. Right. Let's see what we can get. Dartford are 8th, so expecting a tough match. I mean, let's face it, they're all tough in this league, right? Or at least we're making it look difficult. Yeah, we're making it look hard for ourselves. 16th. I mean, in a sense, it's not 12th, but I'm sure we've already had this on, haven't we? I don't know. Klug launches it. Ablett gets away. Ablett's done all right, actually, since he's come into the team. He's not been too bad. And he is young, and we're like, right, let's pop him in and sort of see what we can do with him. Hendo's not been brilliant. Hamish has sort of been not good either, really. To be fair, like, none of them have been very good, really, if we're being brutally honest. Which is why we're now sat in 16th, only 6 points above the drop zone. But conversely, only 8 points off the promotion, the playoff spots. So it's there for the taking, you know. Like, we can do it. Oh, what a ball that is. Oh, that's a great goal. Just got to hold your hand up with that one, isn't it? Like, he skips past him on the halfway line. Skips past him here, then knocks the ball through the channel. What a pass. I've got a feeling he's going to be... yeah, he's going to be half decent, isn't he? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Everyone now feels pressured. Great. Okay. I mean, they should feel pressured because, you know, we're not playing very well, so like, start to play better, please. We've not had any shots. Three shots, not on target. We're not creating anything. Coulson wins the ball back. On a yellow card as well. Pinley, Kelly inside. Sims gives the ball away. St. Bernard down the line. Sims, get in. What a goal. What's that? Goal 75 for Cole Sims this season, is it now? Getting beautiful ball through. Coulson's going to have to come off now for Houghton. Let's bring Hendo off for Walker. Walker Smith. Uh-oh. Any Bonds can go on. Still sees us slip to 17th, though. Yeah. 8 points behind Barnet. And then 7 clear of Weymouth for now. Have we got a chance of holding on? Maybe. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Critchlow Houghton gives the ball away. Critchlow's out of position. Oh, sorry, we've won it back. Oh, Sims is offside, I think, isn't he? I think the flags can go up. Yeah. See, what I like is I like Houghton getting in and doing in track and back. He's good at being a tracking winger. So there's that thing going, like, do we just trust the money we're spending on him and move Coulson again? Is that the thing? Is Coulson playing in the wrong position? We've always said we need him as a number 10, but don't play with one. Starting to wonder, is he a luxury that we can't afford? And also, is he even a luxury? Oh, Jesus. Wow. That was something. That was something. 30 seconds left. Just hold the ball, Lewis. You don't need to get the ball back in. Just hold on to it. Kill the game off. Crossed in. Houghton's nodded away. Critchlow. The Houghton. God. There we go. Right at the death. Has he given me something to think about? Possibly. Critchlow's been a player reborn this season. Huge 3 points. Where does that move us back up to? We'll soon find out. Anything above 14th, anything above 15th, I'll be happy. 14th. 6 points out of the playoffs. Coming in December. Do you know what? I think we'll take that, won't we? Yeah, happy with that? That works for me, to be honest. And now we'll come back into FM on Monday, have a look around, take a look at the squad, see what we can do. Do we need to buy players? Do we need to look at the tactic? How can we change things? Are things going as bad as we think, or is it just a case of like it was always going to be a bit up and down, a bit rocky? November didn't look like a good month. 1 win all month, but before that, October was fine. September was a bit shite. Is it going to be one of those? Like, can we steady the ship a little bit? Who knows? Who knows? I guess there's only one way to find out, really. I suppose, really. Back Monday for FM. Sunday is going to be Total Extreme Wrestling, of course, TEW. Nothing tomorrow, I'm afraid, because it's myself and Mr. J going out for our anniversary. So you have to entertain yourselves, I'm afraid, tomorrow, chat. So yeah, enjoyed your company. Thank you so much for this evening. It's been a pleasure, as always. Take care. We're going to get a raid on, go and see Aria and give them some love. And we'll speak to you soon. All right. Speak to you Sunday for some wrestling. All the best. Bye now.